I'm going to take it back to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee came to Oakland, California, and chose a brother to teach this brother out of Oakland, his first students, that the first dynasty in his culture of Asia, which Brother Jaime said the Native Americans came from Asia, which Elijah Muhammad tells us that this is true. Well, Brother Bruce Lee says before he whoop your ass, he say, "Wah!" Is that right?
Yep.
Well, that ancient vibrational tone word, "Wah," came from the Twa.
Yep.
The first dynasty in Asia.
That's retarded.
He was killed. Let me just get 2 minutes. That's why Bruce Lee was killed for coming
Very retarded.
Can anybody answer my question?
No,
wait. There's a brother that said. Wait, hold on. There was a brother that said that's why Bruce Lee was what, killed because of what, brother?
Because he told a black man the truth that the first people was the Twa, the Hua, and right
You're really retarded.
Because normally when women get their periods, they're like, damn. But me, I'm like, oh my God, it's here. You know, and I just can't wait to just get home or wherever I'm at, just stop whatever I'm doing, just to put like a bloody cross on his forehead.
Okay.
You know? So we're
Anoint me with oil, right?
That's right.
Peace, family. Today's show is called Pulling Knowledge Out of Your Ass. We want you to call in. And by the way, this is Holipsism Haven. This is Mr. Holipsism. You know, those two clips kind of threw me off. But what we wanted to do with this show today is to have our callers call in and tell us about your run-ins with people performing what I like to refer to as conscious freestyles, you know, like what Supernatural does as a MC on the mic. You know, making stuff up, passing it off as knowledge, or just generally, you know, just pulling information out of their ass in a serious discussion. You know, I gave 2 examples of that at the beginning of the show. And that's from those 2 clips that I gave came from Nikki Love's show. And peace to Nikki Love and to Ankh. And they got a lot more patience than I do when it comes to dealing with these people. So I got to give them love. And make sure you visit their channel and give them some love too. But I didn't want to do too much talking about my experience. I wanted to get more into the callers. But I did want to give like a preface to this whole show by just saying that, you know, I just wish that we would stop that, or certain members of our community would stop with that nonsense, you know. I'm tired of getting messages sent to my inbox where people don't research the information that they send out. They just, you know, send it out and pass it on as if it's truth without doing any type of research and, you know, backing it up, seeing where the sources come from. It's just, you know, nothing even that's deep. I usually can debunk these emails within one Google search, you know. And I think what I do is like what most people do. They get frustrated and they delete them. I never do that. What I do is when I get these mass emails with misinformation, I usually put the sources that debunk the information, and I reply to everyone so that everybody can get it. And usually what that does is it prevents the person who passes that information to me from doing it because they don't want to be showed up. So, you know, that's how I've gotten rid of them. I don't really get those anymore because I guess everybody got the picture. But that, you know, just the stuff that, you know, I just played with the Bruce Lee stuff and, you know, people just doing stuff that sounds really good in their mind, but it's absolutely based on no facts whatsoever. Just as an example, somebody has said that, you know, don't buy Timberland because Timberland is run by the KKK. All it takes is a Google search, and you can see that not only is Timberland not run by the KKK, but it's actually run by Jews. You know, so just a Google search, you can go to their main page, you can see the officers who run the corporation. You know what I'm saying? And then another popular one is the Willie Lynch letter. Another popular one is the picnic one. That's my favorite. You know, the reason why they call it picnic is because, you know, during slavery or whatever, they used to pick a nigger to hang So that's where they came up with picnic. I mean, it's absolute bullshit. All you have to do is just go to a dictionary, look up picnic, see where the root word comes from, where's the derivative of, and to just debunk all of this nonsense. So, you know, I can go on and on and on, but what I wanted to do was just get you guys to call in and tell me about your experiences with people just pulling information out of their ass and try to pass it off as legitimate information in a serious discussion. You know, and it's okay if you're just in the corner and we just talking and you're just kicking it, but when you start getting around scholars and professionals and you're doing this stuff, that's problematic. But anyway, one person has their hand up. I see a few other people in the queue, and you know my reputation. I'm going to bring you in. So whether you got your hand up or not. But since one person has their hand up now too, I'm going to bring in this caller. Last four digits, 3503. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, fam?
Peace.
Peace, man. Peace. What you up to, fam?
Just chilling. Did you heard the show topic?
Yeah. Talking about whatchamacallit, brothers just pulling shit knowledge out of their ass.
You have an experience with that?
Oh yeah. It happened with me and my cousins once. We was up in B-More and some guy was talking about, ooh, white folks done this, ooh, white folks done that. He was making up a good lie because he was telling some facts. But then he went off topic. He went to bullshit. He's like, man, I know my cousin in the military told me how in 2012 they gonna start going to the ghettos and start killing this nigga. So he just went off topic, just off some stupid shit. Wait 1 second, brother. Wait 1 second. What you need, man? What you need? I ain't got no, man. Yeah, but yeah, fine. That was one of my experiences with that type shit.
Yeah,
another
I
one.
It all the time, man.
Yeah, I mean, brothers just pulling fake logic out, and they using some truth. They'll use truth like to relate to people.
Right.
And then they'll just tell straight up fucking lie. Just to gain support.
That's the thing that kills me, because, like, did you hear the beginning clip that I played?
Oh, yeah, I heard somewhat of it.
Where the brother was talking about the hoo-ah and talking about that Bruce Lee was trying to teach African people about the twa people. I'm like, come on, man. Well, you just pulled that out of your ass. There's nowhere that you got that from, except in your own mind. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. See, they'll use something that we can all relate to, that we all know about, and then they'll bring out some dumbass shit about it. And then you'll be thinking, damn, I know that's true, so he must be telling the truth.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense right now, because they always talking about something's going to happen.
Right.
So, you think that motherfucker's telling the truth, and of course, that's how motherfuckers get followers.
Right.
It's
brother, are you in the chat room?
Nah, brother. I ain't got no computer around this place.
Okay, let me just say for the people, because somebody hit me up saying they couldn't get in the chat room, refresh your browser because the chat's open. So y'all should be able to get into it. So if you can't, just refresh your browser and that should do the trick.
Yeah, they don't give me no computer around here, bro. So.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Can you stick with us?
Oh yeah, sure enough, fam. Sure enough.
All right. Thanks for the call.
Oh yo, brother.
Mhm.
But in about 20 minutes, cause I got somebody else around here who want to talk on the show, but he don't got his own phone. Could you hit this number back up over here?
Well, do me a favor. Hit number 1 so it can take you off the thing.
All right.
And then when you're ready, just hit it again, and that way I can.
All right, sure enough, bro.
All right.
Sure enough, man. Sure enough. All right, peace.
Okay. Next caller, 0418. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Max 611, repping Brooklyn. The Dream
Peace,
Shadow. What's up?
Peace, bro. Oh, you know what? I can't believe I forgot this. Today is Ambassador Assar's birthday, so that's why he's not with me today. He might come in later on, but right now he's with wifey. They're having, dinner, and he's just enjoying his day. So, peace to Ambassador Sar.
Peace, Ambassador. Much
Happy
love
birthday.
to you on your born day, fam.
No doubt. But yeah, man, what's your story about people pulling knowledge out of their ass?
All right, so we have certain leaders who they brought knowledge and that's all fine and good, but they don't have superpowers. I've heard brothers say that certain members, our leaders, he could make himself a different height, and he could levitate, he could read minds, and he's descendant of this, that, and that, and come to find out he's not.
Mm.
And you know how we do. We you have somebody who's charismatic, so automatically we fall in love with that person. Whether it be male or female, we give.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Like, we were speaking to a York Nawabian. I think this was before they were Nawabians. I think they were the Ansar Allah community at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the brews, I forget who it was, but somebody had said that they met Dr. York one day, and he was 5'7", and then the next time they met him, he was 6'2".
Yeah.
Or 6'6" or something like that.
Yeah.
And you know the response that I gave them, right? You remember that?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Tell them the response that I gave them when they told me that.
I don't remember. What did you say? What did you say?
I said that a man tends to be bigger than he really is when you're underneath his nuts.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
And I still go by that.
Yeah, and that falls under, what Ambassador Sar show when you talk about the spiritual pimps. We tend to deify people who they might, like I said, they'll have certain amount of knowledge, and that's not to take from what Dr. York brought, because he sort of got us started on our path, and you just can't be arbitrarily building somebody up and making them a god when they're not.
Mm.
And
ain't that the truth?
And we tend to do that, and I think stuff they do with other people, like you said with the Bruce Lee, with the on the Nikki Love show, that's just.
Yo, can I play that again?
Play it again.
Can I play it again? Because that's just to me. It's just that when I think I almost like broke a lung laughing when I first heard this. If anybody didn't hear it at the beginning, I'm gonna play both clips.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it back to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee came to Oakland, California, and chose a brother to teach this brother out of Oakland, his first students, that the first dynasty in his culture of Asia, which Brother Jaime said the Native Americans came from Asia, which the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us that this is true. Well, Brother Bruce Lee says before he whooped your ass, he say, "Wah!" Is that right?
Yep.
Well, that ancient vibrational tone word, "Wah," came from the Twa.
Yep.
The first dynasty in Asia.
That's retarded.
He was killed. Let me just get 2 minutes. That's why Bruce Lee was killed for coming
Very
in.
retarded.
Can anybody answer my question?
Wait. There's a brother that said. Wait, hold on. There was a brother that said that's why Bruce Lee was killed because of what, brother?
Because he told a black man the truth that the first people was the Twa, the Hua, and right
You're really retarded.
I'm sorry, man. That is some straight up bullshit. Well, that and this right here.
Because normally when women get their periods, they're like, damn. But me, I'm like, oh my God, it's here. And I just can't wait to just get home or wherever I'm at, just stop whatever I'm doing, just to put like a bloody cross on his forehead.
Okay.
So we're
Anoint me with oil, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Using period blood to put a bloody cross on her man's forehead. I can't, man. I can't do it.
Yeah, that and also people not knowing history and knowing where certain origins are. You know, people tend to do that. People intergalactic travel amongst our brothers who are in different religious sects, and you know, it's just I try to deal with the tangible and what's real and what's reality, and that, you know.
Right. Because the bottom line is, and me and Jelani has spoken about this. If let's say I smoke this good dope, right?
Mhm.
And I get high as hell, and I go through, interdimensions. I go through other planets and all this other stuff. What sense is it me of telling you about my experience? The only way that you can experience it, you got to get high too. I got to give you the same dope.
But then again, if you give me the same dope, I might not go on.
Thank
the same
you.
trip.
That makes it even worse. that even strengthens the point.
Also, I don't know if you remember it was like a year and a half ago when we saw SETI debate. Was it brother DNA?
Yeah.
Right. Remember some of the brothers that were asking questions and they were coming with wrong information and SETI debunked them real quick when they tried to verse him on certain things.
Mhm.
You know, you shouldn't do that in a public forum unless you come in with the goods and you have the right knowledge to back what you just spoke, and you know, he ate them dudes up.
Well, that's the reason why he did this. Remember this clip I used to play?
And then he's talking about the astro project. Goddamn it, when you was in the bottom of them slave boats, you couldn't astro project out them damn chains. That's how far that goes. Astro project your goddamn children about these damn streets there. Astro project your woman up out of the degradation that you go through every day. You niggas will burn candles, your own Pluto, your own Mars, your own Jupiter. The only place you are not is in these goddamn communities where our babies are dying every day. So come up here with this bullshit.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people really get into this super mysterious, spooky shit, and none of the real hardcore stuff. I mean, on Nikki's show, they had this dude talking about, he was telling his wife they was in a courtroom and he wanted her to shoot a pink ray at the jury and the judge and all this other crazy off-the-wall bullshit.
What, his wife was Cyclops from the X-Men?
I don't know, man. I have no idea what that even meant. Shooting pink rays.
She the Scarlet Witch?
You know, what I want to know is if we really got a Magneto or Cyclops and the rest of these Wolverine, whoever else they want to play the Vision, why can't we? That's a formidable army to go against this white man.
Yeah.
You know, we never seem to deal with going against them, but we can always play that super mysterious stuff with us. That's like you said. That's why, you know, that astro project wave. It's like, you know, people let's come down to earth and deal with things right here. You know, but I think that's the underlying principle behind all of this pulling your stuff out of your ass. You know, it's like people just making shit up and freestyling.
Yeah, they supernatural. We need to be more supernatural in how we deal with each other and how we are implementing strategies to override these systems that are against us. And
no doubt.
We seem to do that.
But I want to see if I can bring in another. Nobody has their hand up, so you know I'm bringing you in. You might as well put your hand up. Put it up, because if you don't, I'm bringing you in. And let's see. All right, so can you stick with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. You know, I'm in your house right now, so you know.
All right. All right, stay with me, brother. I'm gonna put you on hold for a second.
All right.
Okay, we got the next caller. Last four digits 9969. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, Dev from Brooklyn, with my Queen Ivy on the phone with me. What's up, my
Peace.
Queen?
Hey,
Mr. Holistism.
Peace, Ivy.
How are you?
Yo, me and Ivy was trying to get the Tooth Fairy so you can interview her, but she said she had.
No, I got her. She's here.
You got the Tooth
Yeah,
Fairy.
she's talking right now.
Tooth Fairy, bro. She on the other phone.
She's talking. We just can't hear her.
Yeah, but you gotta have a special hearing to be able to hear her.
To hear her. You know, the only we can hear her because we just got it hooked up and stuff.
We channeled her.
Yeah.
When she came in.
Definitely.
Okay.
And son, and Bruce Lee called me up. Bruce Lee called me up, man, and he told me that's true, kid.
Really?
Yeah, that's true, son.
If we had only knew that when we saw Into the Dragon.
Yeah, son. I mean, when I was a kid, if I knew I was learning the African lesson, son, I'd have just really been African back then, brother.
But didn't you feel like a special connection to that movie?
Yeah, it's dope now. It's dope.
Isn't that one of your favorite movies?
Yeah.
Now I know why. Because he was really trying to teach us about African history.
Right.
And the period thing, son, I really think that's a nasty bitch. I can't even make a joke about that. That's a nasty bitch, son.
I got to co-sign with my king on that one.
That's all I got to say, and that's what I'm going to say about that. But I do got a story that I heard that was really, kind of fucking threw me off. And the story was, I think you all heard it, too, 9/11. That was a real good story I heard. That was a real good story. Yeah, they need to astral project that bullshit about it.
Damn, yeah, since you're taking it to a social-political level, I can go back to the magic bullet with JFK. That was pulling something out your ass.
They're pulling some shit out your ass, buddy. And I can really get technical. I'm going to get religious. Nation of Islam. Now, that's a real funny story, too. But I'm not going to tell you. Shit, astral projected, yeah. Okay.
But on a serious note, though, like on a personal level, just like the people that you come across on a daily basis, do you have any stories, Dev? I'm going to ask Dev first, and then I'll ask Ivy. Any personal stories of somebody just like trying to break something down to you that they swear is knowledge and just some bullshit that they just pulled out of their ass?
Man, I get that shit so much on a fucking daily basis, bro, that it just goes to one ear and out the other and shit, and it's just ridiculous. I got motherfuckers that we around that be telling me shit. I'll be looking at them like, what? You don't get the fuck away from me with that bullshit, man. For real. For real, man. Yeah, brother. It's the bullshittery. That's a new word, y'all. Bullshittery. Bullshittery is running rampant in the fucking conscious community right now. Bullshittery. For real.
Somebody trying to reach you.
It's a lonely motherfucker on that phone.
Damn, I'm saying. Ivy, what about you? Is there any, have you had any personal experience from dealing with people trying to pull information out of their ass?
I don't know. There was someone told me, and I don't know if I haven't done any research on this, so I haven't seen any, but I was told that I don't even want to talk about this. No, that's okay. No, it's not the time. Nah, I can't do that.
Tell the bullshittery. Please tell the bullshittery.
Okay. It's not good. It's not a good one. But anyway, I was told that when Malcolm X was killed, his testicles were cut off.
Who did it? Jay-Z?
I don't know, but then they equated that with Farrakhan having prostate cancer now.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I promise. And that's why I said I don't even want to talk about it, especially with the latest developments and whatnot going on with the brother.
How did they make that connection?
I don't know, but they said that his testicles were cut off, and now karma, because Farrakhan has something to do with Malcolm being killed, and his testicles were cut off after he died. So now you can see now that Farrakhan has prostate cancer, so it's like it was like a karma coming back.
So karma for Farrakhan ass would be death, just like Malcolm. Fuck out of here. That's some bullshit. They cut it all. Okay, right. Okay, there was somebody that came in the room, because I know when Malcolm died, they fully guarded dead body. They wasn't going to let nobody up in there for that. They had to make sure he was gone. So.
Ivy just messed it up with that one. That's probably more crazier than the Bruce Lee one.
Yeah, that's just right there. I wish we can get an audio for some motherfucker saying some dumb shit like that. So that's how Farrakhan got. Okay.
All right. Whew. Okay. Well, Are you going to stick around?
You asked for it.
Oh, thank you. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
Perfect.
Right.
Perfect example.
So you're going to stick around with me?
Sure.
Alrighty. Well, thank y'all for the call. Just bear with me. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Okay. We're going to go back to 3503 because he has his hand up now, so I'm assuming his friend is taking over. 3503? Hello? No, he's not there. I see Michelle Michelle Watson Taylor is in the room. Try to call in, sis, if you can. You know, sometimes it's full, but sometimes you can get through. But she's raising the issue about the Willie Lynch letter. Actually, I didn't go into details on it, but I did touch on it earlier, like how that's not an actual document. You know, I mean, but people keep referring to it like it is an actual document. And, you know, more than likely the Willie Lynch letter was written by a black person. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's the thing with that. Oh, wait, 3503 is back. Let's see.
What's going on? My name is Brandon.
Peace, Brandon.
Hey, peace.
How you doing, man?
I was just calling just to listen in, just to hear what y'all were talking about. That's all.
Well, did you hear the topic of the show?
Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, say it again.
Did you hear the topic of the show?
A little bit. I caught a little bit of it because my friend, he was trying to introduce me to the show, so I was just trying to pick up on what y'all was saying.
Well, what we're talking about today is people who pull knowledge out of their ass. You know, like people who just make shit up.
Oh, okay.
Making up information and trying to sound deep when really they just, you know, just making the shit up off the top of their head, like freestyling.
Yeah, I know.
Like, did you have any experience dealing with anybody like that?
Yeah, I have on my job. It was a seasonal job, but like, you know, the lady that I was working with, she had been there a couple of times, but she acted like she knew what she was talking about. But then when I asked the boss, it was, you know, it wasn't what she said. You know, it wasn't the same thing. It didn't, you know, coincide with what the boss was saying. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And but I mean, it's plenty of time to have people that just, you know, just talk shit, you know, just bullshit out of their ass.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to listen in.
All right. Well, I'm Ambassador. Can you call in? Is it still saying that it's full? Ambassador and Michelle. I'm looking in the chat room, so y'all can respond to me and let me know. But I should be able to get more callers now. Okay, I got 2135. Last 4 digits. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I am Michelle, and I'm calling from the Bronx. Hi. I finally made it. Yes. How is everyone?
Oh, we're fine. Hold on a second, because I got to bring Ambassador's my co-host, so I got to bring him in.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Hey. I got Michelle on the line.
Oh, yeah,
Happy birthday,
Michelle,
family, by the way.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much for all y'all in the chat room. One love to y'all. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, Michelle.
Yes.
The Willie Lynch letter. Break it down.
Yes. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to, at some point, post this link. It's called The Death of the Willie Lynch Letter. Mm-hmm. And I came across it a long time ago when I was in college. I was doing research, and I was in a class called Critical Theories of Hip-Hop Literature. We spent the first day listening to the Reflection Eternal album, and Talib Kweli referenced it, and my heart dropped because I was like, wow, this so-called conscious rapper is talking about Willie Lynch, right? Mm-hmm. So it just prompted me to just do research and basically just write a piece debunking the whole thing. And what bothers me about it is that so many otherwise intelligent people will claim that, you know, everything that's going on with black people is because of Willie Lynch, and we've got Willie Lynch syndrome, and this speech changed the course of things. I'm like, are you out of your mind? like, first of all, if you when I post the link, you'll read it. First of all, no reputable man is giving a speech and calling himself Willie. That's number one.
At least make it William Lynch.
It would be William Lynch. Second, the only William Lynch on record was not born for another 30 years. Okay? That's number two. Number three, they say the term lynching comes from William Lynch. No, it does not. Okay? Number four, he talked about how he was writing the speech while looking at a dead slave hanging from a tree. Lynching didn't start until the late 19th century. Okay? This was supposedly written in 1712. The other problem I have, why did this only start surfacing in the latter part of the 20th century? With all the historians and all the people that have been studying slavery and stuff, nobody came across this letter until the late 20th century, 1993-ish to be precise, right?
Right.
These are the problems that I have. And so when I'm speaking with people, because my degree is half in, you know, black studies and things like that, and I've definitely been focused on this, and I talk to people, and they're just like, oh, yes, you know, that whole Willie Lynch thing, that's why we can't get our shit together. This is why black people can never unite. I'm like, actually, it's the fucking conch you're pouring in your hair to straighten it that has gotten in your bloodstream that has affected your sperm and your eggs, because you're breeding these ignorant children that won't read any damn books. That's my theory. Willie Lynch my ass. But that's just that. I'm going to stop being belligerent about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. I mean, because actually I wish that Saw was here, Saw Imhotep, because that's one of his pet peeves, too, that, you know, we just pass on information without any type of research.
No thought.
Yeah,
no thought at all.
It's just a Google search. 98%.
But not even that, brother. Let me tell you, the thing is, what's getting worse about it is that America is being taken over by this anti-education sentiment. And I do a lot of interaction on political boards, you know, a lot of liberals and conservatives and things like that. And the conservatives now are saying that education is wrong, it's bad, it's elitist, because there's a brother who went to Harvard sitting in the office, and they have a problem with that.
Right.
You know, and so now, yeah, we're telling everybody, oh, education's bad. If you get an education, you think you're better than people. What kind of shit is that? Use my language.
I do agree with Son Nudia that Willie Lynch he might not be a real person, but the concept. It would be nice if Farrakhan, who I think brought that person or that.
No, Farrakhan did not. He did not bring that.
He brought it to Listen to what I'm saying. He brought that to the masses, people's attention, because people was not really up on it, and so he said that at the Million Man March, and then everyone.
No, actually, that's incorrect, brother. I'm sorry. It was 1993. A writer named Ann Taylor cited the Willie Lynch letter.
I'm not saying he invented it. Listen again.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about who brought it to attention. It was not Farrakhan. It was a woman named Ann Taylor in 1993.
Did Ann Taylor ever have a Million Man March where a million people was listening to her?
No, but she's the one who wrote the paper that even brought it to Farrakhan's attention.
I'm not saying who wrote it. I'm saying who brought it to the masses.
No, you're not. I'm saying that she cited the person who wrote it, who was, I forget his name, but he was a radical from the 60s, and he wrote it. And it was by her citing it in a paper she wrote that black people became aware of it, that even Farrakhan had got the attention of it. So it was circulating before that.
Let me ask you a question. She actually has the person who wrote the Willie Lynch letter?
The person who, if I Google it right now, it was a brother, and he put out the book about the Willie Lynch letter. And most of the people now that have talked about it, they believe that he wrote it. And he wrote it and put this book out and pretended that it was a real letter. She cited it in a paper that she did, and it caused a lot of African-American scholars, black scholars, to be like, what the fuck is this? And so that's when the attention started coming to it, because they were like, why has nobody ever heard this before? And come to find out, yeah, I'm going to post all of that when I'm done talking, because I'm focused on this. But that's where that came about. And so that circulation, and when Farrakhan and other people started talking about it without proper research, you know, they believe whatever they're going to hear that justifies their point of view. That whole idea about a Willie Lynch syndrome, in hindsight, of course, it sounds perfect, right? That somebody would get up and make this speech to plan on how to work slaves. except the fact of the matter is that slave owners were not concerned about hair texture, skin color, and things like that. They really saw us as property. And so they were concerned more about weight, the type of work we could do, reward systems, and things like that. So, again, the letter also contained words that did not exist in 1712. Right. And there was a research on the words that were used that showed these words were not even a part of English language. So this is a problem, and that's why it needs to be debunked.
I knew that I've known you for a little bit, and I know that was a major, thing for you, like a few years back. Yeah, it was because I hate stupidity, and I'm all about taking the intellectual approach to things. And if you just break it down, take it outside of the whole, black this, black that, but just take it at face value on what is written. This is a written document that people are calling a primary source, and they're contributing it to like our whole where we are right now. The reason why we hate our nappy hair is because of this Willie Lynch guy who taught people how to, treat their slaves. Fuck out of here! Come on, this is not what happened. Okay, what happened? You know what I would like to know? Where's the document? Where is the actual? If you're going to quote an historical,
it does not exist.
Where is it?
It does not exist, and that's the problem. It does not exist. The brother who wrote the book refused to produce it because he didn't have it. That's the bottom line. The man said there is no such document.
Does the concept exist?
The concept of what? That one man can taught slave owners how to train us to hate ourselves for generations? Do I believe that was a possibility? No. Why? Also, they referred to the South and about slave owners in the South. The idea of a South did not exist in 1712. There was no North and South in 1712. Now, you're talking to an antebellum historian here. So this is why I get so.
Through the concept of us. Thank you, Cosmic. I haven't seen you in a long time. That's why I'm saying that. I haven't. I'm talking about the concept of just, and I agree with you that Willie Lynch, it was not a real person. There was no real person named Willie Lynch.
There was no speech.
And I think that what people are running with is the concept of division that Willie Lynch letters brought out.
So what are you saying then? Are you saying that it was a real vision?
Huh?
No, what I don't understand is why. See, what annoys me about the whole concept of the Willie Lynch letter is that why do we need to create some fantasy like that in order to break down what actually happened?
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at.
I don't understand why they needed to do that in order to. I mean, we can go through historically and show what happened to us without.
We can show point by point from beginning to end. We can show what happened, historical documents, proof, and everything. Why do we have to lump it all? The fact that we have so many problems in our community, the fact that we have race issues and skin issues and all these other things, why are we trying to attribute it to a fictional speech when we have so much other proof and reality and truth?
Yeah.
This guy's saying I'm wrong on something.
That is true with that. I think people are more getting into what the letters was about as far as the division of blacks and separating of blacks than the actual historicity of
the what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, I think they're getting more into the because when Farrakhan said that at the Million Man March, the point I was trying to make was that people was taking that for the facts when he could have prefaced it by saying, and this theory or this story or whatever, but he put it as if that was the actual. Yeah. This was the true document,
and people believe it, and rather than research. And rather than research, people just took what he said as truth, and I think that's what we're talking about when people are talking out of their ass, and people just take it as truth rather than researching for themselves. So now, when people see black people fighting, oh, that's the Willie Lynch syndrome. Shut the hell up. It is not. Okay, it is slave descendant syndrome. It is being an African in America syndrome. It is not Willie Lynch syndrome.
What is it the ignorant syndrome, the white man syndrome? How would you call that?
I said it's the slave descendant syndrome. It is the fact that we have not been properly deprogrammed and that we still exist in the country that enslaved us. And I mean, yes, there was slavery all over the world, but They call the American slavery a peculiar situation because it was race-based and the effect that it had, and we're still living in it. We're only, maybe 2 or 3 generations removed from Jim Crow, so that's why we still have these problems. We still have people walking around who cow their heads down to white people. That's a problem. Is that Willie Lynch's fault? Not some fictional speech giver. It is a whole systematic thing that happened over centuries as to why we have the problems that we have. So calling it the Willie Lynch syndrome just sounds ignorant, and it ignores everything else that happened.
Yeah, and it's also, my thing is, if you can't bring it up in a serious discussion, and when somebody can come to you and debunk that and prove it wrong, then we shouldn't be introducing this type of information.
That's what I'm saying.
In serious discussion, because it's going to make us look foolish.
Because everything that you're saying could be right, but the minute you cite Willie Lynch, you've discredited yourself. Or the minute you cite something that is incorrect, nobody's trying to hear the rest of your argument because they're thinking you're an idiot. And you could be speaking truth beyond truth.
Yep.
Well,
That's
yeah,
real.
right. A lot of people are saying in the chat room that the Willie Lynch concept itself is real. True that person was not a true character. But
so then how is it real?
The concept.
Well, what's the concept? The concept is that there was a man who gave a speech who taught slaveholders how to treat us. If that is not true, then the concept itself is not true.
No, the concept that there was a concerted effort to divide us and
oh wow, they're saying I'm wasting their time. Okay.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, I don't understand how you cannot think that's real. That we have much proof of people sciencing out how to deal with us. The Arab slave trade was 800 years prior to the transatlantic slave trade.
Yes, it was.
And they had plenty of time to analyze our behavior and see the things, our idiosyncrasies and things that we had, our tendencies, and I'm sure they spread that information to other people. Now,
but then how is it that this random guy named so-called Willie Lynch, so he got it from the Arabs? No, I do agree the Arabs were trading from east to west. Yes, they were. And before the transatlantic slave, before the Ma'afa, before everything, that stuff existed. And that's what I'm saying is that if you're going to have a discussion about black people and where we are and things that we've been through, talk about those things and use those as the concept or the basis for the concept. Don't reference a fictional character or some letter that didn't exist as your main point. And that's the only argument that I'm saying. And the reason I'm bringing it up, people that are listening, is because he asked specifically about experiences that we've had where people have pulled stuff out of their ass. And the most frequent thing that I've had in academia and outside is people referencing and pulling this out of their ass, this idea of that there was this person who gave this speech, and that's the reason we're all that way.
As much as I agree with you that it wasn't, I don't think that most people in the black conscious community is arguing about whether Willie Lynch and who he was his children, whether he really.
You would be surprised.
I think they're really.
You would be surprised how many people think that person was real.
Well, at least I know all of our brothers and sisters on this line here. They're past that point of believing that Willie Lynch was a real person.
I hope so. But I agree. I'm going to tell you, I agree with Michelle. I know, a lot of people are thinking that she's ignoring the concept of what happened to us. I don't think that she is.
I'm really not. Not at all.
I think what she's saying is, and I agree with her, why do we have to create a fictional story to represent what actually happened to us? Why? There's no need for that.
We have people who have dedicated their lives to researching this. They have written legitimate books with legitimate proof and documents and can point to historical events and facts that show the concept. Why do we focus on that so much?
Right. Actual things that happen. Actual things that actually happen without having to create a fictional character in order to represent that. I don't see, because once you do that and if you introduce that into a debate or the discussion and someone can disprove you and say that character never existed, then it makes you look foolish.
Well, you got to blame, again, I'm going to say it again, you have to put Louis Farrakhan up for that because he reopened. He didn't start it. He wasn't the
I agree with you.
I agree with you.
He
opened that whole discussion because most people had been past that, and he put
that
back out there. So why he did that, that's a whole nother story.
Well, the other thing I wanted to mention before I get off the line is that other conversations I have, I talk a lot about like natural hair and issues with black women and hair and stuff, and people will come and talk about Madam C.J. Walker and how she created the relaxer and things like that, and the pressing comb. No, she didn't. She didn't create either. And when people come at me like that, it shuts down the whole conversation for me. It becomes an issue. Okay, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Please read a book. She did not. Those two things were created by men. You know what I mean? And I guess, in this whole conscious community and, you have these natural-haired women talking about, if it wasn't for C.J. Walker, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Who was the man that created it?
His name is, I think, Charles something. He was actually creating a product for horsehair and how to use when coating horses. And when he tried it out on the horsehair, it straightened it or something like that. And then he said, he pushed that to black people. Was like, he's discovered this chemical that can straighten the hair. And she didn't do that. She didn't create that. She created hair grease and other products like that made the hair slicker and things like that. She built her empire on those types of hair products.
That's true. I know who you're talking about too. I can't recall the name of the guy who did that, but I know that information is accurate. Definitely.
Okay, I'm gonna go because people are like they don't want me to talk anymore. But okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. It's your birthday and you can talk and I'll shut up.
Thank you for calling. I've been waiting for you to call.
I know. So it was good talking to you guys.
Alrighty.
Peace.
Alrighty. That was a spirited discussion.
Oh, man.
Oh, all right. Hold on one second. Oh, first of all, before I bring the next caller in, brother, how was your dinner? How did you enjoy your birthday?
Man, it was wonderful, man. It was real good. I mean, I'm just bugging out. I'm just looking at this concept. When I first saw you put this up, pulling knowledge out your ass. What's I mean, anybody in mind, brother? I mean,
oh, you didn't hear? Well, hold on. I want you to hear this. This is just two examples of what I'm talking about.
I'm going to take it back to Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee came to Oakland, California, and chose a brother to teach this brother out of Oakland, his first students, that the first dynasty in his culture of Asia, which Brother Jaime said the Native Americans came from Asia, which Elijah Muhammad told us that this is true. Well, Brother Bruce Lee says before he whoop your ass, he say, "Wah!" Is that right?
Yep.
Well, that ancient vibrational tone word, "Wah," came from the Twa, the first dynasty in Asia.
That's retarded.
He was killed. Let me just get 2 minutes. That's why Bruce Lee was killed for coming in.
Retarded. Can anybody answer my question?
No,
wait. There's a brother that said. Wait, hold on. There was a brother that said that's why Bruce Lee was killed because of what, brother?
Because he told a black man the truth that the first people was the Twa, the Hua, and right.
You're really retarded.
Wow.
Did you hear that?
Wow. Yeah, they go way out there.
And that's just that one. That was hilarious. But then check out this.
Because normally when women get their periods, they're like, damn. But me, I'm like, oh my God, it's here. And I just can't wait to just get home or wherever I'm at, just stop whatever I'm doing, just to put like a bloody cross on his forehead.
Okay.
So we're
anoint me with oil, right?
That's right.
Wow.
And so, I just heard that and just a whole lot of other stuff, and people just, I feel that we have enough legitimate resources and information that we don't have to do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, especially when you stand before the people. I mean, like I said, if somebody wants to give an example of something that's fictitious, I mean, they do it all the time with these religions. So if you want to give an example of something and make a grander, moralistic point or whatever, okay. But at least specify by saying this is a fictional character. This is based on a true story.
Right. And that's the problem, because people would pass this stuff on like it's real information. Like these are real resources that they're getting this stuff from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me go to another caller. I think I can get 2 more in before the break. Last 4 digits. 1507. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How's it going, Bubba? This Kamal from D.C.
Oh, peace, bro.
Kamal, peace, man.
Let's see. I love y'all topics. I done made a list, so I'm gonna run through them real quick. People pull this stuff out their ass, and I missed the beginning part of the show, so I might be being redundant. That whole Lemuria, Atlanta stuff. What's his name? Edgar Casey was high, and some folks wrote some stuff that he said when he came out of his high trance, and that's where folks get the Lemuria and Atlanta stuff from. That's a bunch of BS. Elijah Muhammad ain't dead. He's in a spaceship. That's some crazy stuff. There's a brother named Solomon who leads the United Nation of Islam. It's another splinter group. I went to one of his lectures, and he said he's of course Allah in person, but he's all pure positive energy. He's all positive energy. He doesn't have any negative energy. I was like, okay, that's some bullshit. I went to another lecture one time, and this brother went through a 2-hour lecture, and he ended it by saying that there are black people in spaceships in the 7th galaxy waiting for the right time to come and save us. I'm like, if they see us catching all this hell now, I'm going to be pissed if they wait and come. They need to come now. But what else I got down here? All that New Age talk, that just pisses me off. Folks trying to sound like they deep celestial beings, galactical beings, the indigo children, the sapphire children, all that's some bullshit. Let's see, what else? Slavery only ended because of the help of white folks. Therefore, we shouldn't be against them today. I was like, what about all the resistance that we did and how we was destabilized and everything? But the other big thing is there's a cracker in Britain who has been writing trying to say that Malcolm X is gay. I don't know if y'all have heard that or bisexual.
I heard about this years ago. Yeah, I heard about that.
He just put something out, of course, during Black History Month, talking about that. And he can only cite one source, and, you know, no one else. Manning Mirable's about to come out with like a 800-page book, definitive book on Malcolm. I'm waiting to see if he brings it up. But it's like no one else has ever brought this up, so any way they can pull down our people, you know, they're going to try it. With the sister, going back to the Willie Lynch piece, like I said, we'll go quick. I'm sure she put it in the chat room. For some reason, I can't get on the chat. But if you just Google in Death of the Willie Lynch Speech, there's a part 1 and part 2 by Professor Manu and Pim. Part 1 breaks down, you know, all of the problems with the actual speech and the concept. He goes through the divide and rule tactics. Within the Lynch speech, you got age, color, intelligence, fine hair versus coarse hair, tall versus short, and male versus female. But that goes contrary to all the historical facts, where what they use to divide and conquer us. The ethnic origins and language, African-born versus American-born, house slave versus field slave, reward system for good behavior, class status, and they outlawed social gatherings. That is what they use to divide and rule us, not the stuff from the Willie Lynch speech. So the concept of the Willie Lynch speech is invalid also. And that's what she was trying to get at. And so I'm just co-signing by actually looking at the document. And like I said, I'm sure she put it in there for anyone else to check it out. But my question is, are y'all going to end this great discussion by giving folks like critical thinking tips so they can read beyond BS? Because like y'all said, there's a whole bunch of it that's out there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't really have to get too deep with it either. I'm definitely going to do that before we get to the thing, because it's not really anything that is really that deep. You know, it's just simply a concept of when someone approaches you with information, first of all, put it through your brain computer and see, does this make sense to you? How does it feel? Second thing is verify it. You know what I'm saying? Verify the information. Try to find out where this person got it, because whenever somebody sends me something, I want to see a source. You know, like we recently, like Ambassador, remember we had the show with In the Paint with our brother. And when we really dissected the actual article, then you see that what they did was they were leading to whatever conclusion that they wanted you to, to come to without actually providing any direct sources or quotes from the person that they're saying they had the problem with. See, that they do that all the time in the media. Like they say, oh, so-and-so has a problem with Kobe Bryant. So when you read the article, you would expect to hear about the quotes from this guy who has the problems with Kobe Bryant, but you never hear that. All you hear is a reporter telling you what the situation is, but providing no sources for his conclusion. So it's just basic, simple stuff like that. Try to research before you go passing on information. Don't get an email that's telling you that, voting rights are going to run out and then we all going to get, chained up and back into chattel slavery, and you're passing that around as if you're dropping science on somebody.
Well, that's Mr. Farrakhan. You got to give up to Uncle Farrakhan for that one, because he put it out there before the whole world on a world stage.
Uncle Farrakhan.
And he didn't do his he did his research. He probably did not do his research. It sounded good. He got it. It was like, yo.
Well, that's how most freestylers do. It sounds really good. Like with the whole picnic thing, where, brother, the reason why they came up with picnic is because they meant pick a nigga, and they would pick the nigga to hang. Yeah. So that's why we do it. So that's why I don't eat at picnics, because I ain't kind of. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Right.
Go to a dictionary and look at the etymology of the word.
Yeah. I know one thing. You're right. You're right about that, brother. A lot of that going, especially in the metaphysical community. I hate to say it, it's a lot of metaphysicians, that I do respect, but some of them, they go too far with the esoteric dream knowledge. I call it, where you just coming up with your own. You making Michael Jackson. Now Michael Jackson is the Lord of Lords that came to us in the.
Yeah, he's the Angel Michael. That's
right.
What he is. Come on.
That's going too far now.
Yeah. You
stretching too much now.
You playing me, man. Don't. I'm doing the Geraldo right now. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Remember in Bushwick when we were going to class and they said they had Jesus.
Oh yeah, he's in the.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Imam knew who he was.
Son, Tolet, you got to break that down for the family.
Yeah, that was back in the Dr. York. Imam Isa, when he was Imam Isa, they had Jesus. I came up there to debate some of the so-called young disciples, and your boy made a fool out of them. But they would sit there and talk about, Jesus is alive right now. And only Doc know who he is.
Yo, tell him, boy, we ain't just talking shit. We used to roll into their communities. If we had questions, we would go to the community and question them. And that's what we did. We went to the meeting to answer Allah. I think that's what they were called at the time, right? They didn't become the Wahabians until later. They were to answer Allah, and they made a statement that they had Jesus Christ there in Brooklyn. I'm not joking. They said they had him. So what the ambassador did, he went to the Bible and showed how if anybody says that they have Jesus in a hidden place, do not believe them. Right there, clearly, in the Bible. And they hemmed and hawed, and they what you called it, what they did, the Mark Jackson?
They did the Four Corners.
Yeah, the St. John's.
They started passing the rock. They didn't answer the question.
And we went there twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then they called us demons, that we were lying and threatened us.
Right, they had big dudes, rolling up like, when he was on the mic and all of that.
Damn.
So another case of pulling shit out of your ass. But stick with us, Mac.
All right, I'm with you.
Okay, got one more caller.
That's one con. You know what's so funny? I just want to say about you guys about the Jesus never existed. You notice that they never go there in all their little history channels. They always go to the who was Jesus' wife, who has the cup of the Grail, the Holy Grail. Was Jesus really in Jerusalem or was he in Chicago? They never say, did Jesus even exist? Jesus, that's right, son. Jesus Diago. That's the only Jesus. Jesus, that's the Jesus. Jesus Rivera. from science class.
Wow. Let me bring in,
I think
real. I know who this is.
He was real. I remember him.
This is 0874. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Jelani from Brooklyn.
Are you ready?
Jelani, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready, Jelani, to tell us about people pulling knowledge out of their ass?
Oh, man. Well, let's see. From stuff that I've seen online, and I just got to do this. I remember I was listening to that show and I heard that shit live, and I'm like, oh, that's hilarious. But anyway, right, okay, I've seen such interesting stories that suggest that, check this out. That human beings were once hermaphrodites, and that aliens came down on planet Earth, had these booths, right? So they were doing experimentation, and separated the human race into male and female. And that the effect of this, that regular sex was somehow supposed to, burn out certain energies. So therefore, for you to be truly spiritually advanced, you needed to be first incarnate in the body of a homosexual and then get to the level of incarnating in the body of a bisexual.
Wow.
Now that's some well thought out bullshit right there. That's not some regular bullshit that you pull out your ass. That's some special thought out bullshit.
Oh yeah. And then on top of that, I think the dude that was advocating this particular story, he's pretty much got a book out claiming that he is more spiritually advanced than everyone else because he's bisexual.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Just looking at stuff online, I've seen some really off-the-wall shit. But that's a really good example of that. Oh, let's see. A line of books that suggest that extraterrestrials were responsible for the creation of the human race. That the human race
a popular thing.
That the human race was genetically engineered into existence by an advanced race of beings from a different star system that pretty much came to Earth for the sake of mining gold and other precious metals. And that's part of the reason why we have this interest in precious metals today, because it was important to these other beings.
Yeah, those were the predators.
Yeah.
I saw the movie. That's what they said in the movie. The predators came. And they were the predators were the ones who built the pyramids, because I was always wondering.
The predators?
Yeah, but they confirmed it in Alien versus Predator. The predators were the one who actually built, all of those structures in Egypt.
Oh, so I guess it's real then.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys want to ask some funnier shit. Okay, let's see. In reference to the Bible, right? Now, if you think the stuff in the books that were kept in was funny, you should read the stuff of the books that got left out, such as, here's a good one, the Circle 7 Quran as a plagiarization of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ. Yeah. Also, other books in what's referred to as the Apocrypha that claim that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were in fact married, and that the individual that got crucified on the cross is actually Jesus' son and not him. So therefore, he lived to be about 120 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about bullshit is you don't really need a credible source for bullshit. Let me give you an example. You know how I can prove that the original that the predators were the ones who built the pyramids and the structures in Egypt? If you look at King Tut and you turn the mask around, as you can clearly see, the locks are the same as the predator's locks. Need I say more?
Wow.
Is there anything else that I need to say? I think I've proven my point.
Oh, man. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, outlandish shit. Oh, Yeah, and every so often, you'll read like some New Age stuff about various extraterrestrial races that are walking the earth right now. But see, I would say that's debatable because, okay, from a logical standpoint, this is just my opinion. Now, any extraterrestrials physically walking around the earth, it would make the most sense for them to pretend to be human. And that's making the assumption that they got physical bodies like us. Because otherwise, let's say if you can't see them, then that would reference to, well, maybe they're in an alternate dimension with, kind of like, a phase shift. But that goes the whole thing. But you know what?
There's a lot of leaps of faith in that one, boy.
Oh, yeah. But this a good, like this an old Twilight Zone episode where a group of aliens was basically looking to, I guess, plan an invasion or some shit like that, right? So they captured somebody who was known in this community for telling a lot of wild, outlandish stories. But the funny thing about this particular Twilight Zone episode is that the particular aliens, right, these aliens had no concept of lying on their planet, which means that they believe, so pretty much this guy repelled the invasion when he realized that, well, these aliens would believe anything he told them. And what was funny is that when he escaped from them and then went back to, his people and all that, and then he tries to tell, his friends and all that what actually happened to him, they considered that to be the best bullshit story that he ever told. So for you guys, like, I think, like, if you go on VO.com, you might be able to find the old Twilight Zone episodes. You can find that episode, yeah, and watch that. That'd be pretty cool.
Twilight Zone was my shit, boy. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But Jelani, are you going to stick around?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Pulling knowledge out your ass.
Yeah, that's it, man.
That's the Jesus in the nightclub. I mean, that's the devil in the nightclub, right?
Oh, yeah.
A popular New York nightclub.
Right. And what was my question, man? My question is always, and I don't know. I don't know why I think this way. If God is in a nightclub and the devil is in a nightclub, would the devil not sense the presence of God? I don't know. That's just a logical, question to me. I think that makes sense. But
I always say, the aliens, where were the aliens when we were traveling in them ships? That's the time when we needed a little extraterrestrial help. If they didn't come then, I don't need their ass now. They down with the white man.
Because they all, the same thing. Like, they're waiting for God. God is waiting for man's sins to reach the heavens. You mean that ain't happened yet?
The heavens.
That hasn't happened yet. Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, you know what? I just want to say this, and I think that this needs to be said. For all of the people out here who pull knowledge out of their ass, for all the people who just making shit up and freestyling it, I think that it's appropriate and fitting that you hear this.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I think that's it.
Wow.
I think that's it. That about shuts it down.